The universe had always viewed humanity as insignificant. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations ruled supreme. Among them, the Federation of the Zelkor, the most powerful and technologically advanced empire, stood tall. They had conquered countless worlds, wiping out civilizations that dared to oppose them. To them, humanity was just another primitive species, too weak and unimportant to even be considered a threat. They thought humans were no different from the countless species they had easily crushed in the past. But humanity was about to prove them wrong. The Federation's fleet, a massive, unstoppable force of ships, drones, and war machines, began its assault on Earth. Their attack was swift, brutal, and overwhelming. The humans had no chance. Or so it seemed. The Federation's warlords and generals laughed at the idea of humans being able to defend themselves. They had the most advanced weapons, artificial intelligence, and fleets that could tear entire planets apart. The Federation had never encountered an enemy who could match their firepower. However, what the Federation didn't know was that humanity had been quietly preparing for a war they never expected. For years, a group of scientists and engineers, working under the radar, had been conducting a highly secret project, the weaponization of black holes. At first, their ideas were laughed off as fantasies. The concept of harnessing a black hole, a force so destructive that it could consume entire stars, seemed impossible to most. But the humans had a different vision. When the Federation launched its first wave of attacks on Earth, they believed it would be an easy victory. But in that moment of desperation, humanity unveiled its trump card. They activated the first prototype of their weapon, a black hole generator, on a small scale. The weapon, which was supposed to be an experiment, instantly tore through a portion of the Federation's fleet. Ships and fighters were sucked into the black hole, vanishing without a trace. It wasn't just a small victory, it was a message. For the first time, the Federation realized that humans were not the helpless, weak species they had assumed. This was no ordinary battle anymore. The humans had turned the tables, and their enemies were left scrambling for answers. The Federation's top generals and warlords were left stunned. They couldn't believe what had just happened. A weapon of such destructive power could only be the work of the most advanced civilizations, yet it was in the hands of a race they considered beneath them. How had the humans managed to create such a thing? How did they harness a force as dangerous and uncontrollable as a black hole? The aliens were left with a single question: what else do humans have in store? As the dust settled, the Federation began to realize the true threat humanity posed. But there was no turning back now. Humans had made their move, and the Federation had to respond. However, the black hole weapon was still in its early stages, and humans knew they couldn't rely solely on this one weapon. The Federation, with all their might, would now come at them harder than ever. The humans had revealed their potential, but were they ready for the full force of the Federation's retaliation? This unexpected shift in power had set the stage for an all-out war, one that would test humanity's resolve, intelligence, and survival instinct. With the Federation now fully aware of humanity's capabilities, they were preparing their next strike, one that would test the limits of human technology, resilience, and the very fabric of their existence. As the Federation's massive fleet began its relentless assault on Earth, humanity found itself teetering on the edge of extinction. But instead of surrender, humans did what they always did best: they adapted and fought back. Armed with their newly developed black hole weapon, the humans were ready to make their stand, but they quickly realized the weapon wasn't a perfect solution. The power of the black hole generator was overwhelming, but it was also dangerous. Activating the weapon disrupted not only the Federation's forces but also the delicate balance of their own solar system. Entire planets, moons, and even the space around Earth were being torn apart by the instability caused by the black hole's power. It was a double-edged sword, capable of delivering devastating force, but at what cost? Despite the risks, humanity was determined to use this weapon to its advantage. The black hole generator was their first true victory, but it was only the beginning. To hold their ground against the advanced Federation forces, the humans needed more than just one weapon, they needed a complete military strategy. They couldn't afford to rely on the black hole weapon alone. So, they began to roll out a series of advanced technologies designed to give them an edge in the fight. Humans deployed their naval forces, equipped with state-of-the-art cloaking devices, stealth technology that made their ships nearly invisible to enemy radar, and AI-driven mechs that could fight on the ground and in space with deadly precision. As Earth's defenses began to mobilize, the Federation's generals underestimated the human resistance. They believed their overwhelming numbers and superior technology would crush the Earthlings quickly. What they didn't realize was that humans were about to surprise them in ways they never expected. The humans began launching coordinated strikes on the alien fleet, using their cloaked ships to infiltrate and strike at the Federation's weak points. The battles took place in the vacuum of space, and the humans used their new technology to stay hidden while picking off the Federation's ships one by one. The fight was intense. Close-quarters combat raged across space stations and the decks of Federation warships, with human soldiers fighting hand-to-hand against alien forces. The humans, equipped with advanced weapons and armor, were more than a match for the aliens in close combat. The mechs, piloted by human soldiers, engaged in fierce firefights with Federation drones and alien soldiers, moving with uncanny speed and agility. Their AI systems made real-time decisions that allowed them to outmaneuver the enemy, while their advanced weaponry tore through alien defenses. In the sky, orbital bombardments lit up the dark void of space as humans launched heavy artillery from their ships, raining destruction down upon the alien fleet. The Federation had never seen anything like it. Every alien ship was under constant attack from every angle. The Federation's generals were scrambling to adapt, but the humans were one step ahead, using hit-and-run tactics and quick, efficient strikes to destabilize their massive forces. For the Federation, it was a nightmare. They had never imagined that humans, considered a weak species, would be able to strike back so fiercely. The alien commanders watched in disbelief as their once unbeatable fleet was slowly chipped away, one ship at a time. Their advanced AI systems couldn't predict the humans' tactics, as the Earthlings had already learned to outsmart their enemies. At first, the Federation thought it was a fluke. Maybe it was a lucky shot. Or a mistake that led to a few ships being destroyed. But as more and more Federation ships disappeared from the battlefield, the reality began to set in. The humans weren't fighting a hopeless battle anymore. They had the power to push back. The underdog humans were proving their worth in the most dramatic way possible. Every time an alien ship exploded, it was a victory for humanity. Every battle fought and won was a reminder that humans would never give up. The Federation's fleet, once considered unstoppable, was being overwhelmed by the sheer tenacity and resourcefulness of Earth's forces. The humans fought not just for survival, but for their freedom. The more the Federation attacked, the stronger the human resistance became. Every victory fueled their determination to keep pushing forward, even as the enemy seemed to come at them from all sides. As the battles raged on, the audience was treated to thrilling visuals, mechs tearing through alien forces, ships cloaked and striking from the shadows, and explosions lighting up the cold expanse of space. The action scenes were sharp and intense, with each battle feeling like a cinematic moment, drawing the viewers into the heart of the conflict. The stakes were higher than ever, but the humans were no longer the weak, defenseless species they once were. Their technology, bravery, and unity were transforming them into the galaxy's most dangerous unknown force. What was once thought impossible had now become humanity's greatest strength, their ability to adapt and fight against overwhelming odds. The Federation was not about to lose to a species they considered inferior. Furious at the unexpected turn of events, they deployed their most powerful weapon, the AI-driven fleet. These ships were equipped with advanced artificial intelligence that could predict human movements with incredible accuracy. The Federation's generals believed this AI system would crush the human resistance. Every human tactic, every counterattack, every strike the humans made, the AI could foresee and counter in real time. It was an enemy unlike anything the humans had ever faced. The odds were stacked against them, and for the first time in the war, humanity felt truly vulnerable. The Federation's fleet, guided by their AI, began to dismantle human defenses with surgical precision. The humans, despite their technological advancements, found themselves outmatched at every turn. The AI anticipated every move, and no matter how many times the humans attacked, they couldn't break through the Federation's defenses. It seemed like the humans' fight back was nothing but a fleeting hope. But the humans had one thing the Federation's AI could never predict: resourcefulness. Despite being outsmarted by the AI, humanity refused to give up. The black hole weapon, while still powerful, was unpredictable and dangerous, and the humans had learned to adapt their tactics. They discovered new ways to use the weapon to disrupt the AI's calculations. By creating false signatures and decoy missions, they tricked the AI into thinking one move was happening while they made a completely different one. The black hole weapon became more than just a weapon of destruction, it was a tool for deception, a tool to break the Federation's AI-powered hold over the battlefield. Amidst the chaos, Bonner, a senior officer in the human military, stepped forward with a bold plan. He knew that to turn the tide of the battle, they needed to disrupt the AI's connection to the fleet. The only way to do this was by taking out the central command station of the Federation's AI. Bonner's plan was risky, almost certain death, but he knew it was the only way to give his team a fighting chance. As Bonner led his team towards the Federation's command center, they encountered overwhelming resistance. The AI had predicted their movements, and the path was filled with dangers at every corner. But Bonner refused to turn back. When they reached the heart of the enemy's stronghold, they were cornered. Bonner, knowing that there was no way out, made the ultimate sacrifice. He activated a manual override on the black hole weapon, pulling the weapon's destructive force towards the command station. The resulting explosion was immense, and in that moment, Bonner gave his life, ensuring his team could escape and complete the mission. Bonner's sacrifice became a turning point in the war. His death was a brutal reminder of the cost of freedom and the fight for survival. His team, though devastated, now had a renewed sense of purpose. Bonner's bravery ignited something deep within them. They had seen the unimaginable, and now they were more determined than ever to win. The humans had always been underestimated, but Bonner's death reminded them all that no one could ever truly count them out. The emotional weight of Bonner's sacrifice wasn't just felt by his team, it was felt across the entire human resistance. The story of his bravery spread, becoming a symbol of the human spirit, unbreakable, defiant, and willing to sacrifice everything for victory. His name became a rallying cry, a reminder that humanity could and would fight until the end. As the humans regrouped and adapted to the new AI-driven threats, they knew one thing for sure: they were no longer just fighting to survive, they were fighting for the future of their species. The humans, now armed with their AI-driven counterforces, found themselves facing the ultimate confrontation. The Federation, having learned from their previous encounters, launched an all-out assault with their fleet, now more prepared and deadly than ever. With their AI predicting every human move, the humans knew this would be their most dangerous battle yet. The battle started with an eerie silence in the void of space. The blackness of space was suddenly lit up by the flashing lights of ship weapons, energy beams cutting through the darkness. The human forces, despite their advanced technology, were still outnumbered and outgunned. Every move they made was being countered, every maneuver predicted. The Federation's fleet, with its vast numbers and technological superiority, slowly began to push the humans back. For a moment, it seemed like defeat was inevitable. As the human ships took damage, and the skies above Earth seemed to darken with alien ships, the humans realized the gravity of their situation. The black hole weapon, their last hope, was almost their only way out. But the weapon was unpredictable, its power too immense to control easily. Despite these risks, they had no choice. The final stand was upon them, and if they didn't act now, humanity could face extinction. Clutch move. Just when the humans thought they were cornered, they made a last-ditch effort that would forever change the course of the battle. They activated the black hole weapon one more time, but this time, it was used in a way the aliens could never have predicted. Instead of targeting just a few ships or isolated areas, the human forces opened a black hole in the heart of the Federation's fleet. The weapon pulled everything in its vicinity toward its center, warping space and time. It was a spectacle of chaos. Alien ships, some of the most advanced in the galaxy, were torn apart, sucked into the abyss with no escape. As the Federation's fleet was annihilated, humans saw a glimmer of hope. But the battle was far from over. The black hole weapon had caused massive instability in space, creating shockwaves that threatened to tear apart everything in its path. But the humans, now with a renewed sense of purpose and determination, fought on. Visual storytelling, the battle that followed was nothing short of cinematic. As the black hole opened in the center of the alien fleet, the sky was filled with swirling energy. The powerful pull of the black hole bent the very fabric of space, creating an intense visual spectacle. Ships were thrown about, their shields failing, and their hulls cracked apart as they were pulled toward the center of the void. Alien ships that had once seemed invincible were now being devoured by the immense gravity. Explosions filled the space, lighting up the darkness like fireworks on a cosmic scale. It was a scene of utter destruction, a final reckoning for the aliens who had underestimated humanity. At the same time, the humans continued their fight on the battlefield. Their AI-driven mechs and cloaked ships moved with precision, engaging the remaining Federation forces. In close-quarters combat, human soldiers fought with raw determination, each blow struck with the memory of Bonner's sacrifice in their hearts. The alien ships, now disoriented and overwhelmed, began to crumble under the relentless human assault. Human fighters engaged in dogfights with alien ships, dodging plasma blasts and shooting down enemy fighters with expert aim. In the chaos, every moment felt like life or death. The space around them became a battlefield of twisted metal and energy blasts, with ships from both sides meeting their end in fiery explosions. The final push was relentless. The humans, once considered weak and outmatched, were now proving that their will to survive was stronger than any alien technology. The black hole weapon, though dangerous and unpredictable, became the key to their victory. As the Federation's fleet was torn apart, the humans realized they had done the impossible, they had turned the tide in their favor. After the final battle, the entire galaxy was left in a state of shock. The once feared Federation, which had ruled over countless worlds with an iron fist, was now in ruins. The humans had done the impossible, they had defeated the technologically advanced alien empire that had once seemed unstoppable. From every corner of the galaxy, humanity's victory was being celebrated. It was the ultimate triumph of good over evil, a testament to human bravery and ingenuity. Humans' victory, the alien fleet, shattered and scattered across space, could no longer pose a threat. The black hole weapon, the very tool that had turned the tide of the war, was now under human control. Its terrifying power was now something humanity had to handle with great responsibility. The victory had come at a great cost, but it was a victory nonetheless. People across Earth and the colonies were beginning to understand the gravity of what had been achieved. Humanity had proven that they could stand up to the most powerful forces in the universe and emerge victorious. However, this victory was not without its complications. While the black hole weapon had given humans the power to destroy the Federation, it also gave them the power to destroy much more. The weapon's power was immense, and it was clear that it could be used for both good and evil. The question now was whether humanity would be able to control this new power or if it would consume them as it had consumed the aliens. Satisfying ending, the end of the war marked the beginning of a new era for humanity. But it was not an era of domination or conquest. Instead, it was an era of reflection and responsibility. The humans, having learned from the sacrifices and the horrors of the war, vowed never to misuse the power they had gained. The black hole weapon, once a tool of destruction, would now be used for peace and progress. Scientists and leaders from all across human civilization came together to ensure that the weapon would only be used in the most extreme of circumstances, as a last resort to protect the galaxy from threats even more dangerous than the Federation. The humans understood that their victory was not just about winning the war, it was about building a future where peace and cooperation could flourish. They had seen what unchecked power could do, and they were determined not to let it destroy them as it had destroyed the alien empire. Humanity's greatest strength, they realized, was not the power of the black hole weapon, but their ability to learn, adapt, and grow stronger through their experiences. As the humans rebuilt their civilization, they focused on creating alliances with other species who had once been oppressed by the Federation. They used their newfound influence to foster peace and promote unity across the galaxy. The message they sent out was clear: humanity was not here to conquer the stars, but to work together with others to create a future of peaceful coexistence. The legacy, the final scenes showed humans returning to Earth, rebuilding their cities, and re-establishing their societies. The black hole weapon was now locked away in a secure facility, far from the reach of any who might seek to misuse it. In its place, humanity began to build a new kind of power, a power based on unity, cooperation, and the lessons of the past. The universe was vast, and humanity had learned that true strength came not from overwhelming force, but from wisdom, compassion, and the ability to coexist with others. The humans, once seen as the underdogs, had proven their worth. They were no longer just a species struggling to survive, they were now a beacon of hope for the entire galaxy. In the final moments, the camera zoomed out, showing a peaceful galaxy, filled with the potential for a bright future. Humanity had emerged victorious, not through domination, but through the courage to stand up for what was right. The story of the human resistance had ended, but their legacy would live on, reminding everyone that even the smallest species could change the fate of the stars.